Hey everybody, this is Mr. McKee again with CIS 115. I wanted to go over the project for this week, make sure everybody understands what's needed and required. Alright, it's an Internet of Things or IoT project coding with Python. And what you're going to do is just do a web search or browse YouTube for the Internet of Things projects programmed using Python. That's the big thing. Don't find any that are programmed with different languages since we're using Python. Alright, and make it something that interests you, that'd be good. Investigate the code and place comments or the hashtags or pound signs to the right of each line or function to explain its purpose in order to make the code easier to understand, and then summarize the program. Alright, I'm going to show you guys an example of what I did, but just go through a paragraph on exactly what the program's doing. You can do it step by step. I know you're going to be doing comments on all the a lot of the lines of the code, but actually do a summary below that. Alright, and it should be formatted as follows. Place the name of the code and the website link at the top of the page with your name. Place your code summary below the name of the code, and then paste the actual code in your comments below the summary. Alright, and then submit it using a Word document. Now here's an example I found. Let's see, over here. Alright, this is on a website. I've blanked out the URL so you guys can search for it a little bit. Alright, but this is all about reading the status of an output pin on a Raspberry Pi. Alright, which is a single board computer when we're talking about that in like Packet Tracer. But looking down through here, it's importing some of these modules. The RPI.GPIO, that lets you interact with the GPIO ports on the Raspberry Pi. From time, import sleep, that gives you a delay in your Python code. Say if you wanted something to cut off and on at a certain time, a certain amount of seconds, you can do that. GPIO.setMode. Alright, they're setting the mode, whether you refer to the input and output pins as BCM or board pins. Alright, and then up here, you don't really need to do this at the top of your code, but they're stating that the pin 24 is going to be a GPIO output pin. Alright, and it's right here, it's setting the GPIO 24 pin to an output. Alright, and then down here it goes to the loop, and while it's true, make the GPIO dot output 24 set to a 1 or a high state, which is a 1. 1's on, 0's off. Alright, sleep for 0.05 seconds or half of a second. If GPIO.input 24 print LED just about to switch off, and GPIO output again. Alright, setting it to 0 or off or low. Alright, they actually put it in here either way. Set to 0, GPIO.low false. Alright, sleep for another half second. If not GPIO input, print LED is just about to switch on. So if it's off, it's about to switch on, and if it's on, it's about to switch off. Alright, has an exception right here, keyboard interrupt. Alright, so if you needed to get out of the program for some reason, if it had an issue, you can push Control-C and it'll break you out of that program. And finally, GPIO.cleanup function, it's letting you reset all the GPIO ports back to 0 or wherever the default state is. Alright, and that's how I want the first couple sections, and the bottom section will just be a summary of what this is doing. I would find a more complete explanation to ensure a good grade, but that's pretty much what it does. Alright. And up here, how to set an input. This is fine, but explain to what it is, and also it gives you a little bit of extra parameters you can put in there, or arguments. Alright. And there's the actual, here's a crude representation of a Raspberry Pi. Alright, and these are the GPIO pins. Alright, so that's what is needed. Now let me show you guys an example of what I did. And let me find it. right, so what I did, I set up a web server on one of the Raspberry Pis, this Raspberry Pi right here. All right, and this is a plant helpline program that I found on YouTube. It's pretty cool. It needs some little tweaks here and there, but it works pretty good. All right, basically the buttons interact with Python you can automatically turn on auto watering of this plant right here. And let me just go over what this does real quick. Raspberry Pi right here, bottom left, that's a relay that steps up the current from 5 volts to 12 volts. And there's actually a power supply sitting over here for my computer that I use for 12 volts. But it's running up to the pump that's in the plant right, or actually it's in the sugar canister right there. Has a pump of water in it, and it pumps through this this little hose up to this plant. And I'm going to go, just give me a second, I'm going to show you guys a better view of the top of it. Alright, so that's the plant I've got. Here is there's the pump. Right there. Alright, that sticks down in the water. I've got a little sensor here that tests moisture. Alright. And put that into the plant. And when the plant senses it's wet, the LED right there will turn on. Which, right down here, I gotta turn it up a little bit. There you go. So that's just what it's going to look like if it has enough moisture. All right, there's my relay right there. I'll put this back where it was. All right, so hopefully the picture wasn't too bad, but so I have that. I can automatically turn the water on, clicking right there, and it's already running. I can turn it off, clicking right there. I can check the soil status. It either water me please if it doesn't have water, or it'll say I'm a happy plant if it does have enough water. I can water it once, clicking that, and you guys could hear the little, if you were in here, you could hear the relay turning on. Let's see how it's lit up right now, and then check last time watered. All right, it was watered, and this time needs to be, the format needs to be fixed there. But that, all this is run through Raspberry Pi and runs through Python. Well, the web server runs on Apache web server. All right. So let me show you guys my code. Now here's the Raspberry Pi I'm on. Okay, it's running this web server. All right, so we've got, scroll down. All right, so there's my 3. It's got a little lag because it's remoted into it. All right, I've got a text document. I've got 3 Raspberry Pi, which .py extensions, Raspberry Pis, and then my templates folder, I have this HTML document, which right here. All right, this is actually what you're seeing on this screen. You know, plant helpline is my heading. Mr. McKee's plants right up here. I've got it refreshing every second right there. I'm going to fix that too. I don't like how that's updating. Give me the time. All right, all these links, the hypertext references or hyperlinks, these all go turn automatic watering on. There you go, and so on. All right, and I'm pulling this picture or a video feed from this other website. All right, and the later really doesn't matter, but that link is how I've embedded the the live feed into this web page. All right. Not really good with Linux. I mean, I'm okay, I guess. And my Raspberry Pis, I was having a bunch of issues, but a lot of times, if a Raspberry Pi is acting up and it's intermittent, I have spliced in some power cables to power my Raspberry Pis. They're not that great, so if the voltage drops too much, they start acting up. So that's what happened, but I fixed that now. Hopefully it's fixed for the time being. But that's pretty much what you guys are going to do. That's the HTML document. Go back here. All right, the main Python document is right here. And if I were to use this as an example for the project, whoops. Oh, you know what? It's probably not going to let it. It's probably going to, since it's running, it might not let me have that up. All right, so input rpi.gpio as GPIO, import datetime, import time. So I've imported these modules. All right, GPI set mode, GPIO board. All right, and I have a comment there. Broadcom pin numbering scheme. All right, here's all my modules or functions. All right, get status, get last watered, get initial output. All right, auto water delay 5 seconds. All right, my pump pin is 7, which actually activates my relay and pumps water, and my water sensor pin is 8. All right, goes through some more loops there. All right, keyboard interrupt right there, exception. If I want to put Control C, if this was having issues, I could get out of that program. All right, f.write, it's writing this to this lastwater.txt file. All right, and then GPIO. All right, auto water pump on. And actually, I think one of my problems is GPIO.cleanup. I should have this at the bottom of all of these. A lot of these. My relay stays powered up longer than it's supposed to, but don't worry about that. But just kind of like be able to identify what that Python code represents. All right. And if it has an if, consecutive water count is less than 5, pump on, pump pin, it's on 1, which is high. All right. Else, consecutive water count is 0. All right. It just keeps going through that loop. That's that. Got some other stuff like the auto water. All right. That just imports water. All right. Goes to that function. Lastwater.txt. Let's see what this says. All right. All that shows you is what's right here. All right. It's writing to this file. All right. What else do we got? Web plants. All right. And actually, this part, the 192.168.254.21 port 8080, that's actually running on a Flask web server. All right. This is running on an Apache web server. All right. Importing all these things. All right. So pretty much that's all of that. And finally down here you can see the host, the local host port 8080. I've changed that because I was having issues with port 80 because something's already running on it. All right, that's where you actually set what port is going to be this computer. This computer is on 192.168.254.21, that IP address. Okay, but this means it's on itself. So if you use, if I'm on 1.21 IP address computer, if I did 127.0.0.1 port 8080, that would work. All right. So that's about it. You guys don't have to, know how to code all that from scratch. All right. And what I could do, let me bring up this browser. I'm going to say this works, but I've been messing around with stuff so much, I don't know. All right, there you go. So this is actually running on the actual computer with the cam. All right, this computer, I'm remoted into it or over the internet. All right, so that's that. So that's a good example, and that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Hope it makes more sense now.